If you're looking for the best maintained rehearsal studio on Long Island, look no further than Next Phase Sound Studios in Farmingdale. With 5 climate-controlled rehearsal rooms and 1 brand new state-of-the-art soundstage, no matter what size your band is, no matter how big the gig is, you'll always be prepared after rehearsing at Next Phase. Next Phase has a second-to-none gear collection to make sure that you have the right tools for your rehearsal. And at the heart of it all, the Next Phase Blockhead Studio soundstage, featuring professional grade lighting, premium sound, and a cutting-edge LED video wall designed to elevate your production and make your brand stand out. Whether you're filming a live performance, a demo video, or hosting a corporate event, their versatile soundstage provides the perfect backdrop to bring your vision to life. As an added bonus, you can live stream to any platform you want and give your audience a 5-camera angle visual experience they'll never forget. If you're in the Long Island area and need to get ready for your next gig, look no further than Next Phase Sound Studios. Book now at nextphasesoundstudios.com, located at 136 Allen Boulevard, Farmingdale, New York, or call 631-752-1295. I like it. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, just making
Happy
sure.
Friday.
Yeah.
We're going to do something a little different today. We are actually going to probably release this evening.
Yeah.
It's what we like to call in the biz an emergency episode. And by the biz, I don't know.
Emergency.
No, it's not an emergency.
But we just kind of figured, why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not?
Do it, roll it up, put it out.
Yeah. I like that. So yeah, what are we? Should we? I think we do Redbreast on this one.
Okay.
I was gonna save it for Thursday, but
Right.
no time like the present.
Okay.
That's what they say.
That is true.
I don't know who they is.
The infamous they. All right. Well, before we crack this, we want to show it on once the official show starts.
Okay.
So the intro is coming right after this. So censorship.
That's the intro. Censorship. That's the intro. Okay. Censorship. Sunday. Off to a good start here.
I was like at a monster truck rally. Censorship. Your thoughts.
Yeah.
Right.
We are here, day of our Lord, Friday, September 19th.
Yeah. What day? What day? It is.
It is Free Speech Morning Awareness Day. That's what it is.
Actually, matey. It be talking like a pirate day.
I can't do this. I'm sorry. If this is no, that's not going to be possible.
What be your opinion? You scallywag.
Oh my god. God damn.
Yeah. So it'd be talking like a pirate day. It's also National Love Your Lunch Day. Love your lunch, everyone.
Yeah.
National Butterscotch Pudding Day.
Yeah.
And National Prisoner of War Missing in Action Recognition Day, which is the third Friday in every September.
Oh, okay.
So we'll do the
Good
serious one at the end. And yeah.
And National Free Speech Remembrance Day.
Remembrance Day.
Yeah.
Yeah. For all those Palmias that fought and died.
Pinky loved her lunch today.
Did you love your? I loved my lunch today too. I had blueberry cream pie that you just gave me for lunch.
And that, I mean, fruit, dairy, crust was a little bit of
a little graham crackers.
Grain.
So there's some grain.
Yeah,
or wheat. Some wheat.
Yeah.
I am having a well balanced day. I had an orange for breakfast. I had some Jameson. We're going to have some
We're gonna do some red breast.
Red breast.
We're gonna hold off on this, but you know what? I said that they said.
Yeah.
There's no time like the present.
Right. In memoriam.
The
Free speech.
Yeah, exactly. I'll drink to free speech.
Yes, I will drink to free speech.
Yeah. So we are on our second episode of the day.
Yes.
It is Friday. Obviously, we don't usually drop these on Friday, but with the way that things are moving and the way things are happening and how quickly the world is moving right now, I thought it was apropos to
prudent
to do this and then try and release it this evening. So this way, it's relevant still.
Yeah, 'cause things happen in days, in a matter of hours.
Yeah,
you never know.
Last week we were going to do an episode. Little current event centric, and what we decided to do was not.
Yeah,
we decided to hang out and not focus on the world's problems.
Right. Be friends.
Be friends. Yeah. One thing that Jimmy and I always tend to do is when we're together is be as productive as we possibly can.
Right.
And at the core of this is our friendship, and we just work a lot together.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. But
and the
also,
friendship's the most important part of all of it.
Right. So also we were like,
foster that at times.
We made some food.
Yes.
I made some burrito tacos.
Oh man, so good. So good.
Jimmy made some delicious elote, which was banging, really, really freaking good.
Yeah,
and we fostered our friendship. That's why we didn't come on last week. Also,
it felt weird. It felt weird to come on last week and be like, happy whatever day, and is cereal a soup? Yeah, like all those things. It just felt a little weird last Friday to come on and do that. We record these typically on Fridays. Our patrons are with us live, so we're talking kind of to them right now as well. But to anybody that's like listening to this, it felt like it was like disingenuous to come on,
like
maybe even a little like I don't want to say disrespectful, but just it just felt not the thing to do to come on and try and put on some kind of fun, quirky show.
We like when we do this is a lot of, like, we are ourselves,
right?
But we also don't want to be a fucking bummer, right?
Right.
Like
swear jar.
Swear jar. We don't want to be a bummer, right? Yeah. And there could be things going on in your life, and I've shut them off and turned the camera on and been on, but I definitely felt like last week was not a week that we could just do that.
Yeah.
And if we did do it, it would feel fake.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would rather do nothing than do something in a false way.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or even just kind of go through it.
So last week, not the time and place. This week, time and place.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? Like,
and now this week,
these 2 weeks have been a bit of a bummer.
Just a really big thing going on this week. Like last week was big, but as media personalities and people who work in media and work in, in a public facing medium of entertainment, this one is super important to us in a lot of ways.
Well, I think it's also part of a ripple effect. When you have an earthquake, you have aftershocks, right?
Yeah.
And I think that it's important. I mean, maybe it's not important to anyone. I'm not saying that it's important to anyone that we say or do anything, but sometimes it is important, at least to me, and I know to you, that if we're doing something and we're putting something out into the world, we kind of want to make sure that it's authentic, that we kind of are feeling it and being honest about it, and that we give you our actual perspective,
Mhm.
And so we need to be able to kind of like find that perspective
Right.
sometimes too, and not just. I think one of the mistakes that was made last week by a lot of people,
Oh yeah.
a lot of media personalities, and
Reactive.
a lot of people online,
Just regular, like,
and just regular people,
Facebook people on Facebook.
yeah, was to take an immediate emotional feeling
Hard stance.
and vibe that you were feeling based on really anything. It could be based on the things that happened last week. It could be based on people's reactions to the things that happened last week. It could be based on so many other things. But to have like just this immediate, just kind of like blah, right? When you do that, you often, if you've ever been in an argument with someone close to you and you react on emotion first, a lot of times you find yourself in a position where you can't then have a conversation because you reacted with emotion first.
Yep.
And your points are now lost, and your perspective is now skewed, and you've set yourself up to where you're now almost in defense because you attacked.
Right.
And I think a lot of people did that,
Mm-hmm.
and are still doing it. And
it was abundantly clear too. And I think the biggest thing about the reactions that there were last week was the fact that most of the information wasn't even out there.
Yeah.
Like, most of people's argument about what was going on and how things played out and what it, all that stuff. There, okay, so we should say, like, flat out, like, we're talking about the Charlie Kirk murder.
Is that what you were talking about? I was talking about the school shooting that happened the exact same time.
Yeah.
All right. And who knows who was talking about what? Because both things are disgusting.
Yeah.
And both things are absolute horror.
I think that there was not enough information on either. And everybody immediately pointed the finger at the other person. And it was like, hold on a second. You don't know either of the shooters' backgrounds. You don't know who they are.
Right.
You don't know what they are. So, like, the fact that you're already pointing at the other side, at the left or the right, is already dumb.
Yeah.
Like, why are you blaming somebody before you even know what the hell is going on?
Yeah. I absolutely detest the idea of left and right.
Yeah.
It disgusts me, because when you say left and right, here's something I want everybody to try for a week. Just a week. I want you to think about somebody in your life, and I'm gonna bring up two names in my life. All right. So if I think about the left,
mm-hmm.
I will think about my friend Brian. If I think about the right, I will think about my friend Mike. So what I'm going to try and do all week is, anytime I want to say something about the left, I'm not going to say Democrats, and I'm not going to say the left. I'm going to say Brian, so that there's a name to it. And anytime I want to say something about the right, I'm going to say Mike. Because if I'm going to insult or throw accusations out there, I should have a name that I'm doing that to. I shouldn't be able to blanketly go, this entire cross-section of a population is this way or that way. It's stupid, it's disgusting, it's incorrect, and it makes things worse.
Right. Well, the problem is and I think this comes from a particular side. I'm just not going to say it, but, like, I think it comes from a particular side, is that if you're not there, you're automatically on the other side. You're already identified, and this is not with everybody.
I think
this
you're
is
partially right.
I think when it comes to just from a general sense that I get, like I personally just I think this is where you're getting at is like get the information from both sides, and it's okay to like some information from here and policies from here and thoughts from here, and it's also okay to like situations and policies and stuff like that from there. So therefore you're kind of in the middle. But I feel like if you're in the middle, you're often categorized immediately from whatever stance there is.
Right.
Oh, well, you're a liberal.
Right.
Oh, well, you're a right winger. And it's like, no, I'm a human who has thoughts and opinions that align with certain things on this side and certain things on this side.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make me a flag bearing anything.
If you find
disagree
yourself
with a thing.
If you find yourself 100% agreeing with every single thing that one or the other side says or does, then you are not thinking for yourself.
Right.
You have picked a side, and you are flying a flag for your team, and that is not going to get us anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I reject the idea of the left. I reject the idea of the right, and I reject the idea of the center. We are human beings. We have to live on the same planet, so we have to take care of it. We have to live in the same neighborhoods, so we have to take care of them. We have to live next to the same neighbors, so we have to make sure that everybody can live, because if you don't take care of somebody, you're not taking care of anybody. You can trace your immediate, there's an attitude right now that feels like it's going around, and I see it on both sides, that's very much I worry about me and mine.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's political. I think that has happened kind of since COVID,
yeah,
because people were scared. And I think you rallied around the family, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I think you have to come out of that. You have to come out of that and go, okay, I love my family. My family lives all over the country. I can't take care of my family in one place. I have to try and do and support things that make every place better, because they live there. And they have people that are important to them. And if they're important to me and someone's important to them, then that person's important to me. Mm-hmm. Because if something bad happens to that person, it affects them. And so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. And if we only look at what's in front of our faces, and most of the time what is in front of our faces is designed to not let us look anywhere else. If we only do that, we are missing everything. We are letting people that's job it is to keep us angry. And this whole idea, I want to reject this idea like wholeheartedly that one side is more violent than the other. You're wrong. You're wrong. Now, I'm not telling you that you're wrong because I'm trying to get something over on you. And I'm not trying to tell you that you're wrong because I'm trying to tell you that you're dumb. And you're looking at me right now, and if you think I'm wrong in your entire worldview and surroundings, you're right. I am wrong because I don't know what you know. I don't see what you see. I don't read what you read, because it's not designed for me to. Algorithms, our social media, our special media, it's all designed to feed us this product based on what we've already engaged with. So I'm going to see the things that I'm telling you that you're going, that's out of context. That didn't happen. Show me where that happened. And I'm looking at you going, I've never heard of anything that you're saying right now. Show me where that happened. And then both of us are going like, I don't have time to show you what happened. You can do your own research. But you can't. I can't do my own research because I don't have the means to, because I'm only going to be shown things that align with my view or that piss me off, because that creates engagement and that keeps me on. And the longer I'm on, the more they can sell me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it's designed. And we, as adults, can't handle it. What do we think is happening to kids? If we want to talk about who's violent and who's not, you know who's violent right now? Young, white men are shooting up schools, shot Charlie Kirk, fired at the president, all these things. If you look at political alignment, go back 10 years. There's left, there's right. It's all over the place. But you know what's very common? Young, white,
Male
men. More than anything else. What is it that's radicalizing them? Is it the left and the right? Probably a little bit. Is it video games? Maybe a little bit. Is it the internet? Maybe a little bit. Japan has just as much internet access as we do.
video games.
They don't have these problems. Japan's video game culture is just as much, if not more than ours. They don't have these problems.
One might even say that some of their taste in entertainment could push boundaries. It could, like, there's stuff that's talked about there that here would be considered extreme,
Yeah,
very extreme, and it's a cartoon. it's literally a cartoon. So, like, I don't know, to say that media, that particular media, is what dictates people's normal behavior, and that's taking away anybody with any sort of neurodivergence or anything like that
right.
that can't understand certain concepts and stuff like that. But they're probably more extreme than we are when it comes to what they see on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
In video games, in media, in TV, in all that stuff. So, like, why aren't they like that?
Well, and some people will point and say, oh, it's because of the gun culture. Could be. I guarantee it's part of it. But again, you look at what's really happening in this country and what really has happened in this country over the last few decades. We are a country that the gap between the haves and the have-nots is bigger than ever and growing.
Huge.
Pay has not moved up with inflation. So people are having to do 2-3 jobs just to exist and do a normal existence. Schools have been defunded, so our kids are getting less of an education. There were 3 years where kids at a very impressionable age were locked inside and put on computers and then left to those computers because that's where they were learning. We have no health care, right? It's impossible to find places where you're covered. People are going into debt all the time.
And when you have health care, less and less is covered.
That's what I mean.
And you're still paying for it.
Yeah.
But
so people have to worry about whether they're going to get sick, if they're going to be able to still buy food. We have a political system that is encouraging division.
Mm-hmm.
that have both made stupid, backwards decisions. If you look around, we have a crazy gun culture that glorifies violence, and we have stripped away accountability.
Oh yeah.
So what we have is we have this powder keg of a bleak looking existence. And everything I'm saying right now is just my opinion. I'm not saying this is the way it is, but I'm saying it makes a hell of a lot more sense to me than Republicans are evil or Democrats are demons. That doesn't make any sense to me.
No.
That sounds dumb to me. That sounds like an oversimplification.
Mm-hmm.
But when you start to talk about all these other things, creating a situation where everything looks really bleak and everything looks really negative, and then we've got social media that Facebook started out as a way for students to interact with each other. When it went more public, it was a way to expand and find your friend group and share things with your friends. Social media there's nothing social about it anymore.
No.
It's not designed for you to see what your friends are up to. It's designed to show you whoever the top posters are, whoever's getting the most engagement, whoever's getting the most interactions. But it also is designed to follow you and see what you interact with, and then create what it's going to show you based off of that. And their goal is to keep you online. So if you are engaging in arguments with people on posts that are of a political nature, slanted one way or the other, they're clocking how much time you spend. They're clocking how much you interact, and they're going to show you more of that. If when you do that, you look up a bunch of stuff to try and make your point, it tracks that and finds that and sends you more of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's designed to give you more of what you like, and it's designed to give you more of what you hate, because it creates a situation where you're rewarded for interacting. You're rewarded with likes, you're rewarded with attention. And if the world is seen the way that I just said it before, where everything feels like it's against you, anytime you get that little bit of support or that little bit of community, you start to feel empowered, and you start to feel like you want to be there more. You feel smart because people agree with you.
Mm-hmm.
You feel vindicated when you get in an argument and you win.
At the end of the day, social media is, for a lot of people, the validation that they don't get elsewhere.
Yeah. And the crazy part is that is what's working on adults.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, that's because adults, like up until our generation, adults have been broken for a long time and unable to fix themselves. That all comes down to mental health.
Let's also bring in that we've stripped all funding for mental health assistance and help and study in this country.
Yeah. So
since a long time ago, that was like a Reagan thing.
Right. Like mental health is still pretty it's crazy that I was literally told just this week that I'm still in therapy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was told that I was being a pussy and should be a man and just shove it down.
Right.
That was literally something that was told to me.
Yeah. Don't you want
by
cancer
one of the
or
most
stroke later?
Unhappy human beings I've ever spoke to in my entire life. And I was like, dude, do you get how happy I am in my life? Yeah, there's things going on. Yeah, there's always stuff going on. There's always something going on. Something's wrong, this or that. But at the end of the day, I'm really freaking happy with my life and the people I surround myself with. And I'm really happy that I've been able to figure out these things that I used to beat myself up over. I'm so excited to be able to have pinpointed what those things are and be able to work on getting better and not doing that anymore.
Right.
You know? And yeah, like there are, like, our generation, it's still that line. Like, it's still that line of don't be a pussy or, you know, whatever. And so a lot of people in our generation are looking for validation still because they never got it in their formative years, you know? So if social media is giving them that, then yeah, it's like a drug.
Well, and if our generation takes out all that is doing to us on each other on social media, and we have fully formed brains that should be allowing us to think our way through some things and not be so quick to jump. You have to look at it and go, what's happening to people 10 years younger than us?
That's learned
15
behavior
years younger than us.
That's how they go online and they see how people post and they go, okay, well that's how I behave.
And they don't even see how people post because we're too old to understand what they're doing online.
Sure.
The people that are on the news or the people that are running things that are trying to give you answers are way too old to understand what the hell is going on. Look at how they react to meme culture scratched into bullets. They don't look in and understand where any of that comes from. Neither do we unless we look, because we're not in that world. So we try and assign things to it based on what we think it might be, based on what we see. We don't see what a lot of, like, I have students that are in Discord chats all over the place, that you can go on Discord right now and you can find a place to watch murders. It's just a thing you can do. I'm not saying anything about that other than it exists. And if you, I want to do a fictional story time right now. Let's say you're 15 and it's 2019, 2020, and you are stuck at home. You're still awkward. You're still figuring out your friend group. You're still figuring out all these things. Everyone around you is terrified because everything just got shut down. You're now looking at a screen 100% of the time. Your parents are terrified. Maybe you have a parent or both parents that is blaming the government or another side of these things, or they're scared. All this is happening while you're trying to figure stuff out. While you're online, you're just trying to find somewhere to belong. So you go into different chat groups. Maybe you play a video game and you jump onto Discord and you find other people that play that game and you start talking to those people and you have little inside jokes that you do and you share memes and you're starting to find that culture inside. You're finding that friend group in there. So you speak in the way that we have inside jokes. You have up, up, right, right, down, down, down. Because in your game, that's where you drop bombs on people. But in real life, that's where you win an argument. And you can put that in after you say your zinger online because you're not speaking to anybody. It's all typing. And what's cool about it is that your very small friend group knows what that means and no one else does. So now you have a thing that's just yours. Now you feel like you belong. You got that thing based off of somewhat of a negative interaction. The more you dive deep into things, the more, I mean, as we're kids, we're exploring things. We're looking for more and more extreme things to look at. Look at all the people that wanted to watch Jackass. They got off on watching people hurt themselves, right? Look at all the people the years before that watched the Faces of Death movies, right? They got VHS tapes of people dying and watched it. These things have happened forever.
Yeah.
But now you're in a Discord group and you've got a few people in it, and someone in there says that they have something crazy they can show everyone. So you check it out. You go check that out. And that becomes another group that you're in. And you see some things that are really messed up, but they're on a screen and no one's there to explain it to you. And the only other access you have to things that look anything like that are your games where you're blowing things up and you're killing people. And you start to realize that it starts to become a thing between you and your friends that yo, we're the only ones actually playing this game. Everyone else is an NPC. NPC, for those of you that don't understand it, means a non-playable character. It is a
The computer, so to speak.
It's a figure in a game that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're in a game and there's a crowd, all these crowds are just people that they threw in the game so it doesn't look like you're around nobody, right? Some games you can actually interact with them you can kill them and you can mess with them.
Mm-hmm.
Some games you can't. NPCs, they don't matter. You start to look at everyone around you that's not in your group as an NPC. You haven't been having conversations with people on the value of human life. You're still in that awkward, weird phase where you're growing into who you're going to be, and you go down these deeper, deeper, deeper paths, and there are no guardrails. And it just is desensitizing you to what's going on. Anytime you come out of that hole, you see people are arguing, you see people are fighting. As you get older and you start to do things like try and get a job, you start seeing how hard that is. Maybe once we're out of COVID, you're starting to see the division politically. Maybe your parents are arguing. Maybe they're arguing with other people online. Maybe your dad's running around the house screaming about how the liberals are demons and they should all be rounded up, or all these immigrants should be rounded up and shot, or we should have alligators at the border, or any other weird thing, right? That's happening. That's what you're hearing, and you're hearing that it's the liberals, and then you got a friend at school that went through the same thing you did, but their parents are saying it's the Republicans, it's the Republicans, it's the conservatives, the conservatives, the conservatives. Now you both come together, and you have a completely weird worldview of that the other side is evil. It doesn't matter. Meanwhile, you're going into your group and you're finding new ways to get validation. Maybe it's a mean joke. Maybe you're telling racist jokes because that's edgy.
That's
and so you say it, right?
That's what you hear around the house.
Maybe you're saying the worst possible thing you can say because that gets you more attention and interaction from your group than it would otherwise. We all had that friend. Sometimes we've been that friend where, oh my God, did you hear what they said? You're getting that pumped into your brain. Maybe a few years down the line, you're starting to see that wow, no matter what job I can get, I can't afford to live on my own. I'm supposed to be a man. I've been told my whole life that I'm supposed to be a provider.
Mm-hmm.
I'm supposed to do this. There's nothing I can do. Who's making money? How do they make money? Influencers make money. How do I become an influencer? What gets attention? What gets attention? Well, what's getting attention now?
Controversy,
negativity, fighting. So maybe you're seeing all that. And you're like, let me put something up that's really messed up. And you put it up and you get a bunch of attention for it. Maybe someone puts some ads on it for you. Maybe you make a little money from it. If you can get 1,000 people to like something that you do where you're walking around giving someone a flower and saying you look great today, say you get $1 for every person that likes, you just made $1,000. Well, did you know that if you randomly go up to someone and smack them in the face. Or don't even touch them. Try and get them to hit you. Maybe you insult them. Maybe you're just quiet. Maybe you just got the camera on them. Maybe you just say some outlandish stuff. Not only do you get more attention because you get 10,000 people that tell you how awful you are. And then you get 10,000 people that go on and go, what's it like to be online? First time? Well, you just got 20,000 interactions. That's $20,000. Which one are you going to do again? Well, you got to up the ante the next time. You also got to remember to put a little something in there for your Discord group. So you got to give them a little meme. You got them a little something. Maybe you had a fun little thing that you used to do that you used to share around. You throw that out there. Those little moments for if you know, you know. You feel like a badass. Meanwhile, you're getting more and more angry, and you're feeling like you're more and more under a rock. And you feel like you need to do more and more things to get attention. The only way to mean anything in this life is to do something that matters. What matters? What gets headlines? You know what used to get headlines? School shootings. They're so common now that we don't even report them all.
We don't even know. Don't even know when they're happening.
So what's the next step?
Like
political assassinations. Is that a thing that you think couldn't happen? When you lay it all out, is that a thing? If you're desensitized, you don't think people matter, you don't think you have a chance, you don't think all these things are so confusing, and you're getting all these reality's not real, we're online, we're so this, we're so that. Did you know that the person that shot at Trump had a schedule of every political leader that was coming over the next several months? I'm not saying it didn't matter to them. I'm not saying that they weren't going for Trump. I'm asking, could it have been anyone? Does that mean they're left or right? Or maybe we're starting to see this nihilistic phenomenon that's rampant in Discord servers and of a certain age of dudes. Maybe we're seeing that start to leak out into the world. When you see a shooting and you have YouTube videos of the person that shot up the church that's trans, but also a Satanist, but also a Nazi, but also, like, what are we doing? We're going to pick whatever one of those things allows us to keep fighting instead of go, well, hold on, what's the commonality between all these events? These are all dudes around a certain age that are heavily online, and they literally left online meme clues
to what they were going to do.
Maybe it's not as simple as just saying that they're left or right, saying that they're Brian or Mike, and then demonizing. Maybe we're missing the whole thing when we do that.
Yeah. It's really strange that people don't take that more seriously. And you know, I think that with the you know, there's a lot of really great stuff about social media, but at the same time, you know, you got to surround yourself with it. If you don't surround yourself with it, and you click the wrong way, and you're down a rabbit hole. It's one of the reasons why, you know, like, you know, my son Gavin, you guys know him, he's 12, and it's time I got to take some restrictor plates off. You know, like, he's growing up, he's in junior high school, or now it's middle school, but, like, you know, and I have a rule that after a certain time, usually it's around 8 o'clock, like, I don't allow him to go on YouTube. And even though there are certain channels that I will approve of him going to, I prefer him not be on YouTube. And that is because of the algorithm,
Right.
and getting pulled into that algorithm. And you could just have a video of somebody doing something great, and then, you don't know these people. And maybe they put some sort of rhetoric on a short or something that doesn't end up on the main feed. But that thing that they've done that's picking up steam, if they're already an influencer, that gets added to their information that's part of their algorithm.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want my kids to go down one of those roads where it's like far one way, far another way, and because it's a wormhole. It's literally a wormhole where you click on one thing and it brings you to the next, and brings you to the next, and brings you to the next. And when you have the restrictor place on, I had we had YouTube Kids, right? Mm-hmm. They have on their account restrictor plates, these certain things. There were advertisements for Republican political candidates and talking about abortion on YouTube Kids,
right? Because these kids can vote,
and it's
need to think about that.
And maybe it was something that fell through the cracks. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
it was a mistake. Maybe it was all the things. But you know what? It doesn't matter, because that's the algorithm.
Right.
That was placed there. That's the algorithm. Now you're going to see more of that stuff.
Yep.
And guess what? It was a YouTube Kids thing, and it showed up because you have to connect it to another account, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now that stuff shows up. And now when your kid gets older, you take that restrictor plate off. Guess what's already pre-loaded into that algorithm?
Yeah.
And I just don't want them to get sucked in. I don't want them to get sucked into this. I don't want them to live in a bubble. I don't want them to not have their own thoughts, opinions, all that kind of stuff. Like last night, Holy Communion came up. My kids were like, what's that? And I told them.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, it's a symbolic gesture and this and that. And like, they were like, are we going to get that? And I was like, honestly, if you want to one day, absolutely. But I want you to decide on your own.
Right.
I don't want me to tell you, like I was told, that you need to do that, and I don't want that stuff that's already been kind of, for lack of a better word, like groomed into your algorithm. I don't want that to be groomed into your algorithm. You're still young, you're still impressionable, and I just don't want one click to stray you the wrong way. And that's all it takes. Mm-hmm. One click, one like, one like.
And you can see when they're on things that we're not on. And that's why I'm saying we've aged out of it. And
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not even if I sound like right now like I'm some like old man yelling at the clouds like this internet needs to go down or social media needs to go down. I'm not saying any of those things. I think the internet's awesome. I think that social media can be great. I think that influencer culture is messed up.
Yeah.
I think that the algorithms have made it impossible for it to remain social.
Mm-hmm.
And then the influencer culture has also made it impossible to remain social.
Mm-hmm.
And we're treating influencers like you would have treated someone on a show playing another character.
Mm-hmm.
Right? When we were growing up, if there was a show that we liked and a character that we liked, that we kind of like idolized that character.
Mm-hmm.
And so we tried to create traits in ourselves to be like that character. We didn't have social media to find out that the actor was a piece of shit.
Right.
Right? we only saw that character, and then we found things to follow in that thing. We don't have that.
It's not a
We have
thing anymore.
influencers that, and I will put Charlie Kirk in the influencer section.
He's 100%
And
an influencer.
there are good
Yeah.
and bad things, but Charlie Kirk made a living by being someone that created a situation where people would have conflict. That's how he made a living. And that's not an insult. And that is not I don't know who he was as a character, as a human being. I know who Charlie Kirk, the influencer, appeared as on my screen. I don't even know how he appeared on your screen, because I have seen people talk about things that he said that I never saw him say. And then if I look, I go, oh, I guess he did say that.
Yeah.
That I wouldn't have known, because you only got to see a picture of that person, and then everyone's opinion about that picture, right? We're not getting to see these whole things. We can't hold these people up as the same as
Beacon
as
hope and
as idols.
yeah.
It's great if they say something that inspires you, or if they do something that inspires you. I'll say for Charlie Kirk, I think it's awesome that he did the whole prove me wrong thing.
Yeah.
I think that's great. I think that's cool. I disagreed with pretty much almost everything that I saw, that the ways he interacted. But I didn't look at him as this. I didn't look at him and go, this guy's a scientist.
Right.
This guy's a doctor. I looked at him as, this guy's an influencer.
This guy who has opinions.
And he's doing crowd work.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing. He was doing crowd work. The fact that anyone took, whether it was because it was him or whether it was a situation where they were just trying to do something and murdered him for it, is horrifying and disgusting. And the fact that his kids are without a father, and that his wife is without, is I don't care what he said.
It's disgusting. It's terrible.
And that's where we jump into the censorship thing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you have to say. You have the right to say it. And I will fight anyone that says you don't. It can be the worst thing that I've ever heard. I'll fight for your right to say it. I don't want to engage. I may not want to engage with you. Or if we do engage, it might be an argument. It might be a heavy disagreement. It may even be insulting. But
they're words.
To attack words with violence is, one, you lose your ability to even have a point anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You lose your ability to make any kind of argument anymore, because you no longer have credibility. You've ruined lives. You achieve nothing but pain and sadness and negativity. I think that everyone needs to take a step back and think about that. Now, do I think people should be fired because of things they say? Maybe. In some cases, because I think deep down, if we think about it, we all have a line for cancel culture.
Yeah.
Where I don't want, if you're walking around right now, and I'm going to use the MAGA side because it's not my side, and I don't want to look like I'm just holding myself up. I don't want, if you walk around with a MAGA hat on and you have a heart attack or get in a car accident, I don't want you to be afraid to be brought into the emergency room because you think that a doctor is going to see that MAGA hat
and not take care of
you. So if that doctor was online spouting nonsense or hate about the Republicans or about Trump or about all those things, I think depending on how far that talk went, maybe he shouldn't be there. Maybe they shouldn't have a job, that kind of a job. I can't say I don't agree with that.
No, I think it's horrible that we're at a point in this country where if you were to wear a MAGA hat or were to fly a flag, that if you were in some sort of trouble, even if it's out on the road, if you got into a car accident and you were just in dire straits, that a person who had
the opposite
thought, who had a blue sticker on their car or a Bernie Sanders sticker on their car, wouldn't help you. That's absolutely awful, because
that goes the other way too. Because I know right now, I guarantee I know a few people that might be watching this that might be thinking, yeah, but that's what the people with those stickers do. No, you're missing the point. Because if that blue sticker is over too, I don't want the Trump flag to pass them by, honk the horn, give them a finger, and call them a slur.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need that. We don't need that shit. Right? We can't live in that world. And we have to we have to get to a place, we have to get back to a place where, like, I'm sorry, the Democrats went way too far with cancel culture.
Oh yeah.
Way too far. And I've seen this too when I've talked about it. I've said when I've talked about Kimmel, or I've talked about Stephen Colbert, or anybody getting canceled for what they say, they're like, oh, did you feel that way about Roseanne? Yeah. I did. Did you feel the same way then as you do now? Were you not okay with it then and you're okay with it now? Well, then you're asking me that question?
That's the other thing too. You know, like, there's
hypocritical is all over the place.
There's so much hypocrisy in things going on online. And it's funny because I feel like, and this is not a knock to older people, but like, I feel like the older you get, or the older certain people are, and they decide to be very vocal online about politics, is they don't realize that what you said today is just as available for me to see as what you said 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So when Roseanne was taken off the air and you were all up in arms, but now you're saying, good, about time, get these guys off. It's so disgusting and so terrible and so stupid. And it's just amazing that people actually try to defend themselves on those types of points. They'll be looking at, and listen, it goes, honestly, it's because of the leader in position, but like, we don't really go down that path. But but the fact of the matter is that yeah, well, you know, like, yeah, you're talking to a guy that's going to go, this is a bag of chips.
Right.
And he's going to lie to you till he's dead, that this is a bag of chips, and you're going to take his word for it. And
it's not chips.
Not. It's fucking not.
It's beef jerky.
It is. It's beef jerky.
I want to point out, I don't mean to be ignoring our patrons right now, because there's a hefty discussion going on in there too.
Yeah.
But I will say, Pinky just said these teachers celebrating on TikTok the events. most definitely should not be teaching my children.
Mhm.
I agree. I
agree.
said, I think everybody has those lines and everybody has those things.
I think when it comes to lines, I think that when it comes to some of the things that, let's say, Charlie Kirk has said,
Mhm.
like, I don't know if there are I don't know if he's said things like, if you're gay, you should be sentenced to death. Now, he did say something from what I understand, he said something to the effect of stoned or something like that.
Right.
And
I think he was quoting something in the Bible that alluded to something like that. But again,
Right.
I don't know the quote either. So
I do think
saying that he
I
said
do think
that.
I think that both people took that out of context. And the one side is saying, this guy says that people should die for their sexual orientation.
Right.
And the other side is arguing it. And it's like, okay, well, until I see this, until you contextualize this actual thing that this person supposedly said, then I don't think he's a deplorable human being per se. He's not wishing death upon people with opposing viewpoints and opinions and stuff like that. If anything, he was a champion of it. He was a champion of, and regardless of if
he
you
was a free
believe you or
speech
not.
guy. He was a free speech guy for sure.
And what's wild about that?
He wouldn't want people to be.
Well, that's the whole thing. This whole thing started with a guy that was against censorship. That was a very much a freedom of speech guy.
I may not agree with most of the things that he was about, but that's one where, man, but First Amendment, dude.
Right. If he came out and said all the gays should be dead,
right,
and dropped off the face of this earth,
right?
Yeah. Then I might feel a little differently about certain things.
I'd still fight for his right to say it.
But right.
I would also I
would not want him teaching
my kids. No. I would not want that. And I would support the idea that whoever he was working for decided they didn't want to work with him anymore.
Right.
That's fine. I get that.
Yeah.
Say stupid things. There's consequences. There should be. We've lost consequences. We've lost shame.
Yeah.
We've lost public shaming. You know what didn't happen to these kids during COVID? They didn't go to school and say something stupid and have someone go, "You're an idiot." They didn't go to school wearing something dumb and have someone go, "What the hell's wrong with you?"
Yeah.
I had that.
We all did.
You had that. We need that in life. Yeah. We need people to tell us when we're being dumb. We need people to tell us when we're wrong. We need people to tell us, we need to feel embarrassed about some dumb shit that we do. Yeah. But if you don't have that, then you never learn.
Yeah.
Now, what I will say about the censorship thing, and here's where I'll sit, because we'll bring up Kimmel, right?
Yeah.
I don't know for a fact that Kimmel was canceled because the FCC guy is a Trump guy, and then when that guy went on a right-wing podcast and said, we're not going to approve this merger and we're going to make your life harder if you don't get rid of Kimmel, I don't know for a fact that that's why they got rid of him.
Right.
Seems suspicious. I saw what he said on the show. I didn't find anything offensive about that. He insulted the president. He didn't insult Charlie Kirk.
I was going to say, the fact of the
matter, if you're running around saying what he said about Charlie Kirk is just, you didn't watch it.
The headline says, because of comments about Charlie Kirk's death, and it has nothing to do with that. The fact of the matter is that he said that there was a shooter, which is in fact correct.
That is true.
And he said that the right wing, the Republicans, are trying to push in the media that he was anything but one of them, is also 150% unequivocally true. But did he say anything negative about Charlie Kirk?
No, he said negative things about. I think what they were saying that the reason that he got canceled is because he alluded or pushed the idea that the Republicans are trying to frame it for political gain by blaming the other side.
Well, they are.
Which you could infer that they are. You could,
but
that's a fair thing.
But not for nothing, the other side is doing it too.
Absolutely. Now, freedom of speech, the First Amendment covers you from the government shutting down your speech. It doesn't protect you from your job firing you. It doesn't protect you from your school telling you you can't teach there, the hospital telling you you can't work there.
Mm-hmm.
It does not, nor should it. But where I am concerned is that if a government agency told a company that they need to remove a person because they don't like what they said, now we have a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Because now the government is regulating what can be said.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that's what's happening. I don't know, because I don't have enough evidence to, without a shadow of a doubt, say that. And I need evidence before I just start talking shit. But I will say that it's sure, you could make a case that would be compelling by the way things have gone down.
Mm-hmm.
That also doesn't say that they never did it before. That doesn't say that when the Democrats were creating a big cancel culture thing and, people got fired from their shows, that it wasn't based on that kind of same thing. I also find that to be wrong.
Mm-hmm. Well, that whole cancel culture thing, and listen.
Well, but they just switched it. They're saying all the same things.
Right. But the cancel culture thing, the biggest downfall for a lot of it was, and I'm not defending anybody, and I'm not all that stuff. But what I am saying is there were a lot of careers that, listen, there was a lot of people ousted for doing really terrible and deplorable things to young women, young boys, all the things, right? But at the same time, it was very much a guilty until proven innocent type of thing.
Yes.
And on top of that, even if you did prove your innocence, the clearing of your name was not as loud as the many voices. Not one of them turned around and went, my bad. We were wrong here. They were all in, and they just went for the jugular. And if they were like, oh, we can't slice their throat, they'd walk away. But the damage was done.
Yep.
The damage was done to certain people. And it cost people careers.
Yeah, and if anyone that's watching thinks back, if you're of a certain age, I would say anything above 30. If you're above 30 right now, and you really think to yourself, some of the things I've said to my friends or jokes I've made to my friends that I thought were funny in my teens or early 20s, or the things that I thought were engaging and funny to say or joke about at that point in my life, how would I feel right now if those things had been put online and people could find them?
Yeah.
Right? And a lot of those people are the people that were ruining other people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, you have to look at, you can't go back 10 years and look at a tweet and then ruin someone's life for it, because you have to look at what the world was like 10 years ago, look at what comedy was like 10 years ago, look at what social norms were 10 years ago. You have to judge them on 10 years ago, not now. And then you need to talk to them now, and you need to go, hey, this is what we found. Where are you at now? because we're all human beings and we all grow. If we're the same people we were 10 years ago, we wasted 10 years.
Context is king. An old guest of ours, Mr. Eric Bischoff.
Yes.
Context is key. He lives on that. Context is everything. Context is everything from a social media post to comments said to anything. And there are so many things that are said on one side or another, and then the other side just takes that piece of information and isolates it and puts it out into the world.
Yeah.
Get context. Get context. Yeah. My social media feed, we've spoken about this before, is very limited politically. And it's on purpose. It is on purpose. Now, I'm trying to be a little bit more cognizant of the things going on with the world and stuff like that. So yeah, now I'm starting to dabble with a little bit. But the one thing that's the same across the board is taking comments without context and making it a headline.
Yeah. And
just creating a narrative and a story behind that. And that's the problem. That's a major problem that both sides have. That's just absolutely infuriating. I want to also say, like, there is literally not a single article from either side on this Kimmel thing that discusses what part of what was said is the problem.
Right.
Because, quite frankly, like, not for nothing, but like, we've all dealt with grief, right? We've all dealt with issues and grief and all those kind of things. And when you're just mere couple days removed from someone that you have been talking about as being such a great man and someone who's so important to your life and so all that stuff, and when you're asked about it and you change the subject to construction on a ballroom, right? Now, if Trump came out and said, listen, guys, I'm having a really hard time about this particular subject. I had to just change the subject. You know what? I'd probably forgive him. I'd probably be like, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I've been in that position before where you're looking
and
down at trauma.
Maybe that's what happened.
You're looking down at trauma and you go, I don't want to talk about that. So you just kind of say, yeah, good. Here's the deflection, right? But they turned it into he was talking bad about Charlie Kirk. No, he was talking about how heartless you looked when it was brought up. And you, like, if Jimmy Kimmel did that and then Trump came out and went, listen, this is a defense mechanism. I'm really hurt. I'm really sorry. I have a hard time talking about it. Man, that would get him so many points for so many people on both sides.
Yeah, I just think that I think.
But instead, it's like, oh well, I got a boo-boo face. Take him off the air.
I think
that's ridiculous.
I still think it. Yeah, when it comes down to it, it really is going to depend on if they caved because of government pressure, or if it's some other reason. The reason that I have a problem thinking that it was another reason is because his contract was up this year. All they did was suspend him. So if it was a losing money show and they canceled him because he was losing money, it doesn't make sense because they could have just not renewed his contract. He's done in January. They're having to still pay him right now anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the justification for that? If The company was like, we didn't like what he said. Let us know what it was that he said. But
Right.
nobody's doing that either.
Right. That was the big thing. Like,
so
I
we're not getting enough answers. I do want to go back up here again, though. A couple things. Bill, yes, we grow as we age. Absolutely. Pinky, well, that's the thing with everything. We are all quick to post and share with everyone. We didn't have this when we were growing up. If I made a bad joke, it ended there. Yeah, absolutely. Right. Someone will need to claim responsibility. Okay.
No one wants to do that anymore.
Yeah, I think, again, we don't have enough information to say that this is censorship or it's not. But we do have enough information to say it sure looks like it. And that's something that no matter what side you're on, you should be fighting against with everything you have. The other thing I will say for everyone that is on whatever side of the divide you're on, whether you're my friend Mike or whether you're my friend Brian, whatever side you're on, the pendulum swings both ways. The Republicans just had a shot, and they have it right now, to be the adults in the room because of all the dumb stuff that the Democrats took too far. Did they take everything too far? No, they didn't. Did they take a few things too far? Yeah, absolutely they did. And you're right. You're right that certain things were wrong. But if you thought something was wrong then, you have to think it's wrong now, whether it's your side or not. And the idea of you did it first, nah, I'm going to, does not work in a country with this many people that has to fucking exist.
Tit for tat is not the way
we can't let our leaders play that game, and we can't let them make us a party to that game by turning it into, this isn't the World Series, man. It's not.
Mm-mm.
It's not a game. We don't win online. If you win an argument with me online, you won nothing. If we still lose our freedom of speech, if we still lose by having people that aren't right for the jobs being put in their jobs, we still lose if young men are being radicalized to the point where they're murdering anyone. And if they bring us to the point where we start saying
a crusade
where we start saying that we want some civil war, or whether we're excited to fight our neighbor, you guys don't. If you really believe that, there's something wrong with you. And if you're saying it, you don't understand that as soon as something like that actually happens, all of our lives are changed forever. It's all over.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no going back. So I guess the message is, maybe don't look at every opportunity or everything that happens as an opportunity to immediately get online and tell your thoughts. Because if you don't know what's going on, you don't have any thoughts.
Yeah.
Maybe don't be so quick if someone is proven to think or believe a certain way to demonize a whole side of the country because of it. Because as we can look, there's a lot more going on that is radicalizing and is turning these young dudes to violence. If there isn't an equal view of what laws are, if they don't work both ways, then we don't have laws. So if you're against something or if you're for something now, you don't get to be the opposite of it when the other side is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't. That's not how it works.
Frustration about however your side was dealt with versus the way the other side was dealt with, I can understand. But if ultimately the punishment was the same, you have nothing else to gripe about.
Well, be mad. Talk shit. Say stuff. But fight for your right to do so. And fight for our right to do so.
Hell yeah.
And fight for Charlie Kirk's right to do so. And fight for Jimmy Kimmel's right to do so. Don't grow up. Cut the shit with the sides.
I want to put Ziggy's thing up here, and this is what I want to kind of. We should probably wrap up.
Yeah, we got to
a little
wrap
bit
up.
on.
We've been here for way too long.
But Ziggy writes here, we're not reality TV, we're reality.
Yeah,
and,
you're absolutely right. And I'll
And
add to that: life is not a meme.
yeah,
There are no NPCs. Everyone matters.
yeah, and I think that if nothing else, like this should be a real wake up call for everybody in terms of like all these things that we're all fighting for freedom, right? Whether you're a Republican or a Democrat, we're all fighting for freedom.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of stuff happening in this country that's dividing us. And those aren't the things that matter. And if there's nothing else, all this stuff that's getting us all up in arms is all reality TV, okay? But the real agenda is clear as day. Now you'd mentioned like we don't necessarily have the ammo or the evidence or anything. USA Today has posted about a quote from our leader along the lines of I don't have the quote in front of me, but along the lines of, yeah, I think that people should be punished for opposing the
Right.
current current.
It's gross that the
situation.
president is saying that. He has the right to, though.
Right. He has the right to. But if that's not all the information you need to realize what's really going on here and why we're getting so torn apart and why we're being segregated, why we're pit against each other, I don't know what else is going to wake you up to that.
Don't fight to give a president you do like any powers that you wouldn't want a president you don't like to have. Remember, you're worth it. Your words matter. Your actions matter. There are no NPCs. People have value. You have value. Grieve how you choose. Say how you choose. Say what you want. Realize that there's consequences. Mostly, take care of each other and take care of yourselves. And fight for what's right.
Think about it. It's silly to think that all of this stuff that's being thrown around is not a distraction from a bigger picture. The evidence is there. The evidence is right there in front of us. Just don't look one way. Look all the ways.
Yeah. I can't take your rights and you can't take mine. There's only one group of people that can do that. And we're not paying attention to them while we're arguing with each other.
Yep.
They did it to us once. little bit after September 11th, we gave up a lot of liberty, we gave up a lot of rights, and we found out later that maybe we shouldn't have, and we never got those back. And we're in a position right now where it looks like some of us are ready to do it again. I hope that's not the case.
And those who are opposing, you know, who are supporting the Kimmel firing or whatever it is, those who are supporting, I really do implore you to go just look a little bit.
Yeah.
Watch the whole clip and
decide for yourself before you say anything. If you guys are looking for good news sources, there is a podcast called Breaking Points that is a great one that has people from both sides, and they talk about the issues and they talk about what's going on, and they are fantastic. It's a really good show. There's also Ground News, which is an app that will show you articles from all over the world about specific events. It'll also tell you which articles tend to lean a little to the left or to the right or more center.
And also, I think it's really important that people get a taste of how the rest of the world looks at us.
Yeah. Well, and also get a taste of how the opposition looks at you. Find out why.
Yeah.
If you can't argue your opponent's point for them, then you have no business arguing.
You can't order.
You need to know.
Yeah.
You need to know why they're thinking the way they do. It's not because they're evil. It's not because they're terrible. It's because we're only designed to see certain things, and it's pitting us against each other. But guess what? So are you.
Yep.
So find out the whole picture always.
Yep.
Check those things out.
I want to
you,
end it
guys.
on this. It was this really famous proverb from ancient history.
Mm-hmm.
And it's with this. It goes like this. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one.
And right now, both sides would have canceled Carlin.
He got it right, though.
Peace out.
What's your bacon?
Thanks,
Love you
guys.
guys.